So today we will start with the chapter Introduction to Coordinate Geometry. In this chapter, the first thing, let us understand what do you mean by a coordinate geometry. So coordinate geometry is a branch of geometry, and here you are going to study about the position of a point, and these position of a point are defined by using the coordinates. Means these positions of the points are having some values, and those values, those set of values are called coordinates. So let us understand what do you mean by coordinate. So before understanding coordinate, let us understand what do you mean by coordinate plane. Coordinate plane is also called as Cartesian plane, and why they are called as Cartesian plane, that I will explain you with the help of next slide. So first thing, let us understand what do you mean by a coordinate plane or a Cartesian plane. So a coordinate plane is a plane or a two-dimensional plane. That means we can draw this plane on a plane copy or plane surface, which is formed by the intersection of two perpendicular lines. Means when the two perpendicular lines intersect each other, then this is called a coordinate plane, and those perpendicular lines are known as x-axis and y-axis. As you can see this figure. In this figure, as you can see, this is my y-axis, this whole is my y-axis, and this is my x-axis, and when they intersect each other, this is called as they intersect each other and they are perpendicular also. That means we are talking about a coordinate plane. So this is a coordinate plane. I have shown you this in the graph paper because you are going to use the graph paper only. So now let us understand what do you mean by coordinates. So coordinates are set of values, means they will have some values, set of values which help you to show the exact position of a point in the coordinate plane. Suppose you have some point as A and the point value is given as 2, 3. So these 2, 3 represent the coordinate of the point A, and with the help of this value, that is 2, 3, we will locate the point A, that we will study in the next slide. Now, as in the last slides I told you, coordinate planes are also called as Cartesian plane. So actually what the founder of coordinate geometry is French mathematician René Descartes. By the name of his Descartes, it's become Cartesian coordinate system or Cartesian geometry. So now let us understand what are the x-axis, where are the y-axis, and what is the next topic, that is origin. So the line x dash O is called x-axis. This x dash O, as you can see, this is my x-axis. This should be a straight line, okay. You are always supposed to use scales while you are working with geometry or on graph. The next one is the line y dash O, y dash. This O is here, okay, and this O is called the origin. Here the coordinate of the origin for x-axis and for y-axis, for both it will become 0, 0, and the x-axis is from here to here and the y-axis is from top to bottom. So this is x dash x O, this is x O x dash y O y dash. So now let us move to the next one. Now just see, now as you can see, some values are written on x-axis, right, and some values are written on y-axis. Now as you can see here, I have written 5, 10, 15, right. These are all what? Positive values, and here these are all negative values. Same way on y-axis, the top part, here it is written as y positive value, and here it is written all the negative values. So as you can see here, on x-axis, the values to the right are positive and those to the left are negative. That means the values to the right, that means on this side it is positive and this side it is negative. In the same way, for y-axis, the values to the above is positive and values to the down is negative. So in the next slide, now let us understand about the coordinates of the point. Coordinates of the point means the values of the point. So the coordinates of the point is always written as x, y. It can be 0, 2, it can be 2, 5, or it can take a negative value, both can be 0 also. So the different coordinates values. The first value, that is this, will represent x coordinate and also known as abscissa. The second value after comma will represent the y coordinate or also known as ordinates. So let us consider this figure and understand what is the value of x and y in this question. Sorry. Now just see. This, just from the line, draw perpendicular on x-axis as well as on y-axis. As you can see, when I have drawn a perpendicular, where I am reaching on x-axis, value 5. So that means the first value is 5, and when I am drawing a perpendicular on y-axis, I am reaching the point 4. So that means the value of y is 4. As I have written here, x is 5, y is 4. That means 5 will represent the distance of x-axis and 4 will represent the distance of y-axis. And my abscissa or x coordinate is 5 and my y coordinate or ordinate is 4. Now let us move to the next. Understand what do you mean by abscissa. The abscissa is a x coordinate, right? This is an x coordinate of a point. Means whenever you are going to take the coordinates, suppose the coordinates are 5 and minus 2. So the abscissa means it is x coordinate, or abscissa is the coordinate of a plane, and it is the distance along with the horizontal axis. Now just let us see, again we will study about abscissa only and understand the definition of abscissa. The abscissa is an x coordinate, means the value of x coordinate is called abscissa of a point on the coordinate plane. The distance along the horizontal axis, this horizontal axis distance is called abscissa. Suppose if I will take this point, okay, so the distance from this x axis is what, from here to here the distance is 2, so that means my x value is 2. Okay, and something for the y also it will be, so I am not taking that I will explain you in the next slide. So now let us see what do you mean by ordinates. So ordinate are what? Y coordinate in the plane, and its distance from the x axis measured parallel to the y axis. Suppose if you are taking any coordinate, suppose you are taking any value as 3, 2, right? So 3 means from here to here it should be 3. Again you are going to draw a straight line, and from 2 you are going to draw a straight line. So this is your 3, 2, and this 2 means what? The distance from x axis to the point, this distance is called y coordinate. So y coordinate or ordinate. Now let us see the next one. Now just understand one thing, when the coordinate axis we are going to draw, the coordinate axis, whenever you are going to draw the coordinate axis on the graph paper, it will be divide the whole region into 4 quadrants. As you can see, just see, if I am dividing this, suppose this is my x, this box, just consider this box, this is my y axis, this is my x axis, and now as you can see, okay, once again I'll draw this and I will explain you. Or just see, when I'm drawing this line, this whole line, this is dividing the whole part, this whole region in 4 parts, right? This is my one part, this is my second part, this is my third part, and this is my fourth part. So these are the 4 parts in which the coordinate axis divided the plane, and these 4 parts are called quadrant. So this is my first quadrant, this is my second quadrant, this is my third quadrant, this is my fourth quadrant. Now just see the first quadrant. In the first quadrant we know that on this side the positive value of x lies, and here also the positive value of y lies. In this side the negative value of x lies, and the down one the negative value of y lies. So that means, just see, in this part if you will consider, so this is plus and this is also plus. So plus plus, that means this is plus comma plus, as you can see here. So this side will represent I'll just write once again. So this side will represent plus plus because x value is also positive and y also positive. Now go for the second one. This is negative and this is positive. Every time when we are going to take the order or the coordinates, we are supposed to take the x value first and the y value second. So now this is minus plus, so minus plus. That means for the second quadrant, the values will be always the first one minus, that is the x value will be minus and the y coordinate will be plus. Now let us move to the third one and check. For the x also it is minus and for the y also it is minus. So for the third quadrant, both the values of x coordinate or y coordinate will be negative. Now see for the fourth one, my x is plus and my y is minus. So that means for the fourth quadrant, my first value, that is x coordinate value, will be positive and the y coordinate value will be negative. The same thing I have shown you here with the help of this table. X, O, Y, this one is O, this is my x, this is my x dash, this is my y, this is my y and this is my y dash. So x, O, Y, x, O, y. This is my first quadrant, plus plus, as you can see. Now y, O, x dash, y, O, x dash. This is my second quadrant, represent minus plus. Then x dash, O, y dash represent the third and minus minus. Same way y dash, O, x, y dash, O, x represent the fourth quadrant and plus minus. Now let us see some more things, that is order pair. Now let us understand order pair. What do you mean by order pair? Suppose if you have a number 4, 2, this coordinate you are supposed to draw in the figure and somebody will draw 2, 4 in place of this. So these two are not equal. If 4 is written on the first, it should be always in first only. The order matters. So see the definition first. The pair of two numbers A and B listed in a specific order is called ordered pair AB, with A at the first and B at the second. That means if it is mentioned as the first number in the first, that is A in the first and B in the second, it will be A will be always in the first only and B will be always in the second. You cannot write B in the first and A in the second and you will say this is same, because this is not. Now let us see the next one. There are some important notes that you should know before you will start the exercise. These notes are, see, the first point is what? Every point on the x-axis has its y coordinate 0. That means every point, whichever point which will lie on x-axis, for the y coordinate value will always be 0 and it can be written as x, 0 only, as the value of x can be different but the value of y will be 0. We can draw a point or we can just wait. Let us move to the next slide. I'll show you this example. Suppose if I'll tell you I have a point which lie on x-axis. So here my x-axis, right? So for this, what I can tell you, my value of x is 2, but can you see the value of y? Value of y is what? 0, because if the line is going like this and here the value of y is 0, so 2, 0. You can take some more examples. Suppose the point is here on this x-axis. So now you can see the value of x is minus 5, but again the value of y is 0. So all the point which will be lying on x-axis, whether it is on a positive side of x-axis or the negative side of x-axis, will always the value of y as 0. Now let us see the next point. The next point is every point on the y-axis had its x coordinate 0 and therefore it is in the form 0, y. So again for the same thing, let us see the example in this only. Now let us take the point this. Suppose this point, okay. Just see this point, the value of y is 4. So value of y will always be written on the second. The first part should always be for x. Now here the value of x and y both are 0, right? So the value of x will be on this. So this is 0, right? Because the y is 4 but x is 0. From here you can see. So this is 0. If we'll take another example like here, so again the value of x is what, from here to here you're going for y, so this is minus 6, and from x this is 0 only, so this is 0. So in the same way you can say that whenever you have the point which lies on y axis, its x coordinates are the 0, and if the points are lies on x axis, its y coordinate is 0. Now the next point is 0, 0 lies in the intersection of the x-axis and y-axis, and it is called the origin. As we have seen over here only, this point, you can see this point, this red spot or the blue spot, this point where the x-axis and y-axis meets, or the intersection point, is called origin, and the coordinate of origin is 0, 0. With this, we have end with the explanation part of the chapter coordinate geometry.